welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I'm going to do my January wrap up, and you guys know with my wrap up, I talk about movies, books, and music that I listened to the whole entire month. Read a decent amount and watched a lot of movies, okay? Because in the month of January in Michigan where I live, I had about 2 or 3 snow days, so I took advantage of it, of watching movies and reading. So let's just get started. Okay, so first for the books. The first book I read, which I would consider it a book because it's a picture book, but it was with Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Mama Sleeping Scarf. I actually won this off of Goodreads. This is such a cute story. Y'all know how much I love Chimamanda. Even though, girl, I need a full-length novel. I need a fiction novel, okay? She hasn't came up with a fiction novel since when? Americana, and that was years ago. Was that 2009? Like, it's been some time, and she has published other books, but they have been like nonfiction. I need her to come out with something really soon. But this was a really cute story. Like I said, I really like the illustrations, and they match like her husband and like her. It was really cute. Because Chimamanda wear with the braids, and she real stylish and things like that. So yeah, such a cute story. Next, I read Langston Hughes, Not Without Laughter. I did read a book in one day, and I really enjoyed this. This was my first Langston Hughes novel I ever read. I read his short stories, Love 'Em, Love Was Poetry, and I wanted to, read his novel. My favorite character, I really liked Harriet, and I'm glad Harriet got it together at the end. Sandy took my heart because he was so sensitive and sweet. The mama, Angie, she just was going through it, okay? But this is such a good story. I love the way Langston Hughes writes, not only just his poetry, but his prose. Next is Erasure by Percival Everett. And you know what? This is my first Percival Everett book. I have so much blue by him I haven't read, but I got that a couple years ago. And after reading this, I know I'm going to read that, because this book, it talks about the publishing industry in regards of being a black male, how the publishing industry, his publisher was like, oh, I want a black book, and he's like, well, I'm a black man, so it's a black book, and they're like, you know what we mean. And they wanted the stereotypical, black story of all the baby mamas and, struggling with money, and they on drugs and all that. And he gave that to them, and didn't realize that that was going to be like a literary masterpiece. And then also, Monk is dealing with family issues. His mother looks like she's dealing with Alzheimer's. You have a brother that's dealing with some personal things regarding, his marriage and things like that, and then you have his sister, and it was really good. I would give this a 4 out of 5. And then lastly, I read J. California Cooper. I also did a read a book in one day, and this was her debut novel. Love it. She just knows how to write short stories. I was never a fan of short stories, couldn't stand them, and when I read her short story Homemade Love a couple years ago, she made me fall in love with short stories, and now I can more than tolerate them. And her short stories are like no other. No other. You guys saw when I was reading this book how much I was cracking up because she just has a cleverness to her. Alright guys, so that was it when it came to the books. Did decent. No, I don't care about the quantity of books, I care about the quality of books, okay? Because I'm already an avid reader. I don't need to prove to myself that, I read 60, 70, 100 books in a year. I don't care about that, okay? I want to read good literature if I can help it. So, yes. Now, let's go to the movies. Watched a lot of movies. I watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies. So, yeah. Okay. The first movie I watched was The Well, which that is with Brendan Fraser. He actually won an Academy Award, I want to say in 2022, I believe. And you're dealing with a man that is a professor. He has became morbidly obese, and it's because he's dealing with some issues with his personal life. He had a family. He he abandoned it, and you learn why he abandoned, his family. And because of something that tragic happened to him, he, coped and grieved with food, and it just got overwhelming, okay? And he has an estranged daughter, and he does something to basically make her spend time with him. but he did a fantastic job. Next, I watched a Tubi movie. Y'all know how much I love my little Tubi movies. It's called Forever Us. It's with Zanique. You guys know Tiny and T.I.'s daughter. And it's also with Lyrica. She was on Love and Hip Hop. I don't watch reality TV, but I do remember her because I had an uncle that was obsessed with that show. He even got my grandmother watching it at one point. But I did remember her because I thought she was really, really cute. But this movie, you have a married couple. You have a wife that she works a lot. And her husband kind of, you know, how them typical stories where, oh, the woman works a lot, she's never at home, has all these meetings, and so he feels like, you know, neglected. And then he starts talking to a little young girl, which is, you know, the character Zanique plays. I forgot her name. And y'all, clearly stuff happened. And yeah, that's how it goes. If you watch the trailer, they kind of did a sucky job because it's like they tell what happened in the trailer. It looked like they needed to edit that because you got the full synopsis in the trailer. But it was a little, you know, a little movie. Yeah, it was a little movie. So, yeah. Next, I watched No Good Deed. I tried to get on a little Taraji P. Henson kick after I saw her in The Color Purple last year. And look like I still want to get on that kick. But I had never seen No Good Deed. I don't really vibe to, what would that be? Not psychological thrillers, but because that's not psychological. Like a thriller, basically. You know, with people getting beat up and all that, and like hostages. That makes my nerves too bad. But I was like, let me just, you know, sit and watch it. And I mean, it was okay. It was typical. You knew what was gonna happen. So yeah, it wasn't anything to write home about, but I did watch that, and that came out years ago. Next, I went to the movies and I saw American Fiction because it's based on this book, Erasure. And I watched the movie, and then the next day, I ended up reading the book in one day. And I'm glad I did it that way. Now, they did a really good job. I would say they changed a little bit of the family dynamic and the ending a little bit. Now, if I'm being honest, I think I might like the movie a little bit better. But overall, still fantastic. I love the way Jeffrey Wright played Monk. I mean, I'm a Jeffrey Wright fan. I loved him from Basquiat when he played Basquiat in the 90s. But such a good cast. You have, you know, Issa Rae. You got Tracy Ellis Ross, Sterling K. Brown. And you have Leslie Uggams. And Leslie Uggams, she was Kizzy in Roots. The fact that she's over 80 years old, she looks that good. My goodness, y'all know black don't crack. But that was a really good movie. When I went, it was literally only like 6 people in the movie theater. It's now nominated for 5 Academy Awards, so that's really exciting. Next, I watched Rustin. I actually watched that during my snow day with Coleman Domingo, and it was a really good movie. They portrayed him really well. Coleman did a fantastic job embodying him. Byron Rustin was the one that put together and organized a march on Washington. And if it wasn't for Byron Rustin, wouldn't have heard Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. So we owe a lot to him. He was a Quaker. He was a openly gay man and got a lot of pushback because of that. But he was a pioneer of his own, an unsung pioneer because a lot of people don't know, you know, his name. But I'm also glad that this movie, Coleman, is nominated for an Academy Award. So cross the fingers that he gets it because he did a fantastic job. Next, I also watch on my snow day Maestro, and that is about Leonard Bernstein. He was a composer, he was a writer. He is known for, he did the music for West Side Story, the musical. Bradley Cooper, he played him. He also directed and wrote the screenplay, and he did a really good job. But I would say who needed to get nominated was the lady that played his wife. I'll put a picture up. She did so good because towards the end, his wife dealt with cancer, and the way that she portrayed that was fantastic. He had a little interesting life. He was, you would say bisexual, yeah, because it looked like in the beginning of their marriage, she didn't know that he, like, you know, had feelings for men, and you know, during their marriage, she would see him talk to men and stuff like that. And they kind of just, when it came to like their intimate life, they weren't doing anything. And her thing is, I put too much work in this relationship where I'm not leaving. Basically, you're not divorcing me. So they kind of lived a strange life. But towards the end, when she got sick, he really did help her. It really did depict his life, his professional and personal life. Next, I went to the movies again and I watched Origin, directed by Ava DuVernay, and you have Ingenue Ellis Taylor that did a fantastic job. The movie was so good. I actually went to go see it again because it was so good, and it's based on the book Cass. It's about 30% based on the book, and the rest is Ava DuVernay. She said, who's directed it. She said that the rest of it, she actually talked to Isabel Wilkerson about her personal life. She had a husband that died while she was researching, this book. She had a mom and a cousin that also died while researching the book. So she had a lot of, personal blows, and then she had to, go on with her professional life because she is a writer. That Ava did that, which is amazing. I would highly recommend you guys go see that because, again, it's not just based on the book. You get a professional and personal, look in Isabel Wilkerson's life. So go to the movies and check it out. You'll be very, very pleased. And lastly, I watched The Queens of Comedy. I was at my sister's house and she just put it on. I've seen that so many times. I actually watched that when I was younger. Had no business watching it, but my favorite probably was Monique. Monique's really funny. And then secondly, I would say Adele. Adele Gibbons is hilarious, but Monique was really, really funny. But like I said, I watched that so many times. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen the Queens of Comedy, I would say check it out. Now they are graphic, okay? They're graphic. You gonna hear some some stories, okay, about some men and things like that. But it was really, really funny. And that movie, I didn't realize that came out in 2000. It was over 20 years ago. But yeah. All right, lastly, music. I only listened to one full-length album. You guys know how much I love doing that. I'm getting back to doing that, and no surprise who I listened to because I got this album in January was the Winans, BB and CC. This was their first album. My favorite is I Owe You Me. I don't know why. That's my tone. For Always. What else I like? Love Said Not So. And Change Your Nature. This is such a fantastic debut album. If you guys like gospel music, I would say pick this up. And y'all know last year they were my top artists. I didn't realize I listened to the Winans that much. I mean, I grew up on the Winans. CC Winans is actually coming to Detroit in March. That reminds me, I gotta tell my sister to get the tickets because I do want to see her. Okay, but this album, fantastic. Y'all know how much I love the Winans. So yeah, and I got this from Amazon for like $6 or $7. It was really, really cheap, and it was the last one. So yeah, guys, that is it when it comes to my January wrap up. Dang, it's already January. It's already over in February, which I'm so excited because y'all know Black History Month. Also want to thank you guys so much for commenting and watching the Black History Month content. I'm really excited. So excited when I edit it because I just love putting together clips like that, especially celebrating, Black music, interviews, movies, and things like that. And of course, we got to highlight some Black. So I will continue to do that. And again, thank you guys so much for supporting me. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. And I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.